the universe. It is universal all over the world. So Hong Kong Artists Union is now a group of artists, around 400 artists register to be member, that we come together to advocate our labor right at first, because we, as an artist, we always got late paid or no paid at all, free laboring, cheap internship, and many unfair, injustice contracts and treatment during our career. So we come together and then try to advocate better policy for artists being treated as a real labor in Hong Kong. But at the time during the anti-elect movement last year, a group of artists, I won't say I'm one of them. I just follow those artists who start some activities and movement with their creativity. Then we call out on our Facebook page and through our member email to gather people to do things together, and also help them to spread the press release and to try to help operate those activities. But no leader, leaderless, be water is one of our main motive during last year movement. So the Artists Union won't take the leadership or won't claim any credits of any artist lead movement, including protest or any form of protest during the movement, but we will try to assist and being involved and being part of the movement. So we'll leave the time for Kacie. Today, Union invite a very active, a very respectable artist from Hong Kong, Kacie Wong, to introduce his own art practice on how to engage with society, democratic movement in Hong Kong, and what difficulties he faced during this very critical time. Thank you, Kacie.
Thank you, KY. Everybody, can you hear me? Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to share screen right now. The host disabled participant screen sharing, so the host should be allow me to share first. Yes. Have to grant me the right, otherwise I can't share screen.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
It's our first time for hosting this.
It's okay. Me too. I mean, I was doing a lot of online teaching lately, and the learning curve is very, very steep for old men like me. But it's important nowadays. We are all connected. Yes, I can see you now, and I'm going to share screen right now. I'm going to use the following 8 minutes to talk a little bit about my practice, and I'm going to start the timer now. And I'm going to talk about covert art, duty, responsibility, and purpose. Very, very steep for old men like me. Okay, so please turn off the speaker, just in case the echo. Thank you. Use the following 8 minutes. You have to turn off otherwise there'll be echo. Okay, facing unjust law, I think we have experienced that. Comparing to 2014, the civil disobedience, like the umbrella movement, which is to sit and wait for arrest. But now Hong Kong have evolved into civil disobedience, which is not about sitting and wait for arrest because the law is so unjust. If you sit and wait for arrest, you'll be a fool. So hiding identity, be water, is the principal practice. And for further theory and reading, please read this book. It's a Bible, A Duty to Resist When Disobedience Should Become Uncivil, written by Candace Delmas. It will be empowering to all struggles, including Black Lives Matters. Be formless and shapeless, Bruce Lee once said. Where did he got it from? The idea of be water is not to just run away, but it's actually from the chapter 8 of Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. The highest excellence is like that of water. What's that mean? Water comes down from the high valley of the hill and down to the lower valley to bring important nutrients to all lives down there. Kind of like what the people are doing right now in Thailand, right? To bring freedom and democracy. So it's not about hiding or running away, but it is really about freedom and democracy, and be the good Samaritan. So how can an individual body participate in civil disobedience? What is the possibility of covert art in uncivil disobedience? How can covert empower covert art? This quote is interesting. The secret of happiness is freedom. The secret of freedom is courage, from Greek philosopher a long time ago. It relates to our struggle and yours too. Think about that quote. So covert art, kind of like covert operation in the military, there's a political objective trying to achieve. And of course, you want to hide that, the sponsors as well as yourself to protect. So secret identity. So it's kind of like live art performance, but involve cosplay and disguise. And of course, improvisation of the people. It's kind of like activist art, in empowering individual and community, the marginalized, disenfranchised, race consciousness, and of course, seek to expose. So I use a lot of different methodology, such as superhero. That's me over there, dressing up like Moses, and that's a stranger. I don't know him, but when he saw me during a protest, he just bowed. So this is very important to hide your identity. Not only you hide the shape of your ear, your cheek line, as well as your eyes. So there's no vectors can be drawn from CCTV of your face. This is very important. Expert from Huawei told me. And also when you doing your covert art, when I was doing my covert arts, it's not only about myself, but really about those people around me, as well as the police. Here's a video. I think I won't play because of the time. But here's another example. This time I have actually no face. I was dressing up like Leonidas III from the movie 300, and doing the 5 demands. And of course, in Thailand, there's 3 demands, but for us, we have 5 demands. And that day, I got the best compliment from all the young people. They came up to me and say, you look so handsome. Because I look so handsome, not because of my face, because I lift out to their own image of what they're doing. They're risking their life to come out to the streets to do good deeds for Hong Kong's future. But of course, the government defamed them. So when they see kind of like a superhero like Leonidas III, facing giants and not afraid of dying, but only afraid of dying without a purpose. So that's very important. Knowing the purpose. The words on the wall say, liberate Hong Kong and revolution of our time. And this is my process of thinking. It might be useful to you guys. First, I will research and investigate political issues and try to locate an angle of entry, because every artist's angle of entry are different, and usually use reverse thinking. Whatever you think the opposite, and use cosplays and disguise and improvisation. And of course, the secret weapon is humor, which of course the Thai are very good at, based on the commercial I saw from the past 10 years. And that's me dressing up like old school gangster, blending in with the young protesters. The policemen saw me, they thought I'm working for them because I have violence written all over me. And sometimes I infiltrate the bad guys, and like this red shirt, they are like paid protesters, sponsored by China, communist China to be exact. And I'll dress like them, and I kind of blend in, but holding signs that they don't understand. They're language-based, English-based sometimes. And music is important too, because it can provoke emotion quickly. And here's me dressing up like secret police, actually STUs, Special Tactical Units, the most violent form of Hong Kong police. Mm. And then I'll play the music here on my belly, and there's a video in here. Can you hear the music, everybody? No? So I was singing the Beyond, the song from an old band from the 80s. Yeah. So people are saying, waiting for the glorious years. That's my wife over there holding the Wi-Fi because if she walk too far away, my speaker cannot play. So what I'm doing is I'm projecting a real union of solidarity, not excluding the police, which is very difficult to do. I guarantee the police will get super violence later on. It's a system that we're fighting against. And here's a work of me disguising myself as a 80 years old man in 20, maybe in 30 years time. And they have a silver hair protest, all old people. So I dress up like old people and go protest. And after participate in protests and in the past 10 years, I did have some theory, very simple theory. It's called the 5 points of protest art: big, light, easy, artistic, and fast. So when you protest and you want to empower people, make sure it's big, otherwise people cannot see it. Here's some examples, because like we're talking about millions of people on the streets. If your thing is too difficult to understand, I will have 2 more minutes. And this is lightweight, don't try to punish yourself. You should punish your enemy. Try to make the props, whatever you have, easy to carry. Easy to understand because you are not participating in the museum and gallery. It's angry people, on the streets, right? Make sure it's easy to understand. Tune it down a bit, maybe like within 5 seconds, people should get it. If they don't get it, I think you probably failed. Artistic means it's crafty, meaningful, poetic, maybe. Maybe you have a secret skills like drawing people's face within 35 seconds and talk to them at the same time, which I did. So you can do something like that. And finally, it's fast, right? Make sure it's a fast dissemination. We're all living in a social media world now. Nobody want to read yesterday's newspaper, so go viral. Like this is a situation back in umbrella movement. Students were camping on the streets. So I make a little model. The rain was coming. I try to save them from the rain. And actually, I think somebody saw it and then they put some pallets there to donate to the students. Or like things like this, do a logo competitions and people can participate in the safest place in their home, like from the bed with their laptop. Or make a cake, right? Make a cake, make a 3 fingers cake, do and a coupe cake, so that not only the more valor people can participate, but even a housewife or young student. So my ending quote is, the secret of happiness is freedom. The secret of freedom is courage. Maybe, this is from me, the secret of courage is persistence. It's important. This image I captured 2 days ago from a street of Thailand. And there was one angry student shouting at the front. And there was this kind of timid, scary girl was doing the 3 finger sign. So what's that mean? That means, the together we will win. You have to do it that way, not advocating one side or the other. We must stand strong together. That is the way to go. Thank you. That will be the end of my presentation. Stop sharing. Sorry for overrun. Okay. And here's my friend made figurines of me, like little toy figure of me. That's me and Moses, and me as Uncle Ho, and me as Neil the Third. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And next, I would like to move to. Okay. And here's my friend made figurines of me, like little toy figure of me. Currently, okay, we are back. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. Next, I would like to invite Halfway Cafe to present your response to the social situation in Taiwan. Can you hear me? No, nobody can hear me. Sorry.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. Halfway Cafe. Where are you? Halfway Cafe. Yeah, you're up. You're up. Open your mic.
Now your turn.
Your turn. Your turn.
So I'm Busak. This is Luhung, and this is our manager Zixuan. And today we will have briefly introduce our coffee shop. And yeah, and I have 你快没电了，是哦，充电。Everyone can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. And so this is Halfway Cafe. We are in Taipei. And before I introduce, I want to say, actually now, actually now Taiwan's situation, I think is a little bit different between Hong Kong and Thailand, because we already, the last major protesting is like already in 2014. So it's a little bit already have some time. And now it's like the situation now is like because DPP is the government, and so so now the social movement is like quite the low energy situation now. Yeah. And today we will only introduce you in our coffee shop. Now we have now we have 5 staff in our coffee shop and about 9 members. We will discuss our business together. So, and it's about 12 to 13 people will use this space. And we already opened this coffee shop for 6 years. And besides the coffee business, we also arrange public engagement programs and activities. And we also spend a lot of time to practicing.
Please come nearer to the computer because it's very the volume is very. We can't hear you well. Sorry.
So our member is like because it's already 6 years, so our member is like come and go, and the boundary is not so clearly. So when we prepare this introduce for you, we also question ourselves what's the things we made, and because it's sometimes not so clearly. Yeah. So in here I separate our space for 3 space, and one is for the business space, of course, for the custom to come in for the coffee shop, and the second one is living space for our staff or people to live in here, and the third one is the how to say, outside of the coffee shop. Is the thing what we doing. 天哪，好紧张哦！不要紧张。 And for the business area, we have a regular member to doing this area, and the thing we're doing is we now we have full-time staff and the part-time staff, but we all discuss all the business things together, and it's including like what's the way we see this space, or 天哪，我脑袋一片空白。
你说像定价商品开发，like price deciding or product invention, or sometimes about the scheduling of work, and also like some events, organize a series of events, or the whole the future direction that the whole cafe wanna be, or the financial situation, or including the salary stuff, the salary adjustment, or also about how the public space, how the public space in this cafe is going to be used, is all included in our agenda and the regular meeting.
So the things maybe in the others coffee shops, this kind of thing will only decide by boss or the manager, but now we try to practicing to open to everyone to discuss with everyone. And another part is living space, because now you can see we have a room and a bed in our space also. So some of our members also living here. So naturally it's become our living space also. And before we organize, we call midnight kitchen. It's like every day in a week, like Monday we will have one friend, and Tuesday we'll have another friend. So every day we will have a friend to come in to cook and sell their food in our coffee shop, and that they will bring their food and introduce their food and also bring their people here. And now it's become like people in our community will come in. We will cook together with the staff here and the customer here to share our life and what's the thing they care about in this space. So it's a little bit like, now it's a little bit like a info space. And another part is the not so clearly in this coffee shop, and it's the things what we doing now, because our members all from different backgrounds. People do artists or performers or translator, so everyone have different concern about things. So now we have a basement also. Now, so we like rent. Not really, they don't need to pay the rent, but we open this space for our friends. Now we have what's there? An art worker and a cartoon. People do the cartoon.
Draw comic.
Draw comic, and a small cross-dressing studio, and a massage worker, and a second-hand shop, and yeah. And so beside this thing, we also we also have a different thing happening here. So all the things we try to do is keep this space survive or running, and so people can come in to use 资源。
all the sources, like we kind of like provide space and network sources to let people do something they want to co-work together or something they want to do by themselves here.
So it's like we open a space or a shop to organize, to have like a collective or a network with other group or people in here. Okay, so now I will have a little, because we have many different event or project before, but now I only introduce you two of our project. One is we have our own currency, our own money. So with this money, one currency can, in our coffee shop, you can exchange one drink, whatever drink you want. So you can use, so this one money means the price of one drink. So you can use the money to use with other people. And sometimes people come here to help us fixing stuff or help us to work. We will use this currency to pay them. And another thing we are doing now is called halfway manual. So because we have many people not just working here, they also have their things they care about. So it's like we open event until next year. So every month people in here will share what they are care about, what they are doing beside the coffee shop business. Like actually we have one member is a journalist, so he will share the things in the 什么那个叫什么？那个病叫什么 ？COVID-19. And we have a band performance also, and so on. So that's what we're doing now.
It's an annual project for whole year until the June next year, and it's not only by like staff in halfway. It's also some events are hosted by the friends in halfway or friends in our community, and everybody, just like as Posaki said before, they're trying to share with people in this community, or somebody new just know this community, to share with people what they're doing and what do they care about and what they are going to do, like something like this.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much. And next, I would like to invite Kanye, Thiravat Munvilai. Where is he? I think we saw. He's gone. So maybe we have to go to you next. Okay. Here is Thiravat Phaewin, who work in artistic and activistic way in Chiang Mai for many years.
Okay. No. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Yod. Yeah, it's my nickname. The full name Thiravat Phaewin, but whatever, it's just Yod. Hi everyone. actually I'm not I'm like the last person to present, but the first Thai guy already gone. We trying to catch him back, but okay. Anyway, first I want to introduce myself. Okay, I'm like an independent artist and like freelance in the cultural things industry and based mainly in Chiang Mai. There's a lot of like events and like work with the political movement, but it's not like consistently. I mean like before this couple months, the political event kind of like pop up and gone. Is not like a mainstream and not have like uprisings atmosphere like this couple weeks, but the movement is like active occasionally. It depends on like a national event or something critical news or issue happen. Like mostly it's like a passive way to like provoke people or gather people to remind or respond the situation or like a fact what kind of happened or what the democratic standpoint. Yeah, we do that, and yeah, it's not only the Chiang Mai but another province we work like that also, but it really narrow and limit resource and the audience. As you know, the talking or make the political activity in public is okay if you not touch the structure problem. Every country can have like a sensitivity that okay, you can always talk about the freedom, talk about the anyway like a global issue, but you cannot touch the national sensibility like a monarchy, like military or besides the right in the progressive. Okay, sorry, we have like some technical issue here, but everyone can hear me, right?
Yes, I think whenever you're saying the sensitive words, whenever you're saying the sensitive words, then the echoes start working. Very strange.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe stop saying the sensitive words in your work file.
Sorry, we cannot stop that.
I'm just kidding.
Can we move the speaker?
Okay.
Speaker
Okay, sorry. It can take it like experimental video meeting, like an art project. Okay, now it's like we have like run the event. Yeah, during the time we like fix the problem. Okay, echo of the sounds and the people gone missing. Okay, let's back to my point. Okay, everyone in the room can hear me. Okay, right? Okay, let's get back. Okay, former the political situation kind of like in like quietly really hold, not uprising as you know in the international news. we like run the project as like not as an artist or not only the like we are working as the artists into the movement or like individual artists like that. There's a lot of political artists like that, but for me is I prefer to work at like really low profile. I kind of ever came an artist to help them, but I'm really okay and pleased to work with them as like a worker or like a part of the artistic component for their movement or event. That's as much as I can do, and the resources and the chance or like a political situation in the up to the any context. So we have like as you you said we should be like water. You have like prepare to change the plan, prepare to like use more tactic to express or even like organize people, or sometimes we like have to cheating, like or out of the book or out of the thinking, or like let things gone mad, and sometimes it's like improvise. Okay, you're okay. You that okay. Now we share the screen. Okay, just give you like two sample of my past work. Okay, I'm like a founder of Superimposition. Is like a crazy, really, I don't know. It's just like it's like a experimental sounds concert event. Okay, as I said earlier, you can in Thailand it seems like we have freedom to talk about the global issue, like we have pro peace, pro clean air, or like everything you can do that, but in the narrow way, because it's just only few artists to dare to talk about the real elephant in the room, in the country, or what really happened, what's going on. And I know that the condition why people cannot act or express their action or present something via their art project or any kind of things that actually they really can. I think that is like the wall of like industry or professional way of life. As you know, no, you don't know that. The creative work in Thailand is like a very political idea block, and is very limit the industry is not really at all big. We have like we know each other, but the budget or the market is like we have to more please and to we have to like more compromise with the sponsor or with the partner, with the buyer, with the things we have to like talk when we have to talk real critical thing. We have to like just really quietly chit chat. Okay, so I want to make kind of like, okay, you can be join our event as the professional artist, or even no one artist. You can fake your identity, or even you just normal artist or not have any kind of artistic skill, but you can be pretend, or you can like represent yourself as an artist or singer, or whatever you can create or you want to expression in like kind of that way. And as you see in there, this situation is happened about 6 years or almost 7 years ago. Is the same year of the latest coup of Thailand in the 2014, and this kind of during this concert happened is still in like a martial law. The activist and like a leader of or like a scholar who like a political target, they get like this military like a bring and like invite not or got caught them to the military camp. In that time is really have like is technical work that really split off. It's called attitude adjustment. Okay, whatever you are, is attitude adjustment. So I made this event in the theme of like a suffering adjustment. So we like invite quietly to like a young artist, a young crazy Chiang Mai people with like a no budget, with no things, just like just only beer and we like share suffering and adjust together. It's like a group therapy, but in like a very crazy way. You can see the link ในที่ส้มโอเคหยอดแล้วก็ลิงก์ที่เป็น YouTube อันนี้ก่อนโอเค I gonna show you like ไม่ใช่อันนี้ยัง not ขึ้นไปอันอย่าเอามือแบบโอเค okay I gonna show you just really short how crazy it is. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's not crazy like that. We crazy with we talk about monarchy in very crazy way. But yeah, we can present or claim like that directly. But during I contact to the artists who joined the event. I am kind of like don't care what you want to show or how good your show. I'm just like a talk with them like how you feel about this like kind of situation, what the fucking happened, and how your idea or your perspective about the monarchy. Yeah, in like Thai political context. โอเคจำเลยไปกัดให้เห็นกางเกงใน Okay, it's a lot of student and you can see กลางโอเคตรงนี้จำโอเค this is one of sample. This guy is he's a programmer and the guitar is engineer. No one is artist, no one musician. It's just like a basic. And the guy who's screaming, he's just like he like mumbling and like really shouting in like a crazy way with really not good sound at all. But you can see the
excuse me. Like are you sharing screen right now?
Left corner. There are like a performer who's performing.
Are you sharing screen right now?
Teaching 12 value in like.
Are you sharing screen right now? Because I'm not seeing your screen.
Okay, and performer is like a kind of teaching Korean language.
I'm not seeing his
to
screen.
Like
I only seeing he's talking.
Value from the military campaign. Okay. Now got we got the situation again.
Now I'm seeing white screen. Okay, now I'm seeing white screen, finally. Before I wasn't able to see the screen of what you're sharing. Maybe you want to share your screen again? Share. Because I couldn't see what you're sharing before. Hey, now I can see YouTube. You're sharing a YouTube. Okay, thank you.
I think this guy also took several
You're
photos.
sharing before. Hey, now I can see
share
YouTube.
again the
You're
screen
sharing a
because
YouTube. Okay, okay,
at
I can
first
see it.
no one can see.
I can see now.
Yeah.
I can see it's a live performance on the stage, right?
I think this guy also took several photos.
Before. Hey, now I can see
share
YouTube.
again the
You're
screen
sharing a
because
YouTube.
at
Okay, I can
first
see it.
no one can see.
I can see now.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Okay.
I think you have to remind them the mic have to be turned on. I think his mic was off. Mic. Mic. On. Mic on. Okay, I gotta type here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm back. Sorry. Okay. It's one of the sample that the people who kind of suffering about the political situation can share their experience together in an experimental music concert. This event is happened during the martial law in 2014, the latest coup in Thailand. And okay, move to the second sample of my work to show you how we try to bring the political event into more casual and more artistic way. Yeah, we'll have a lot of young artists, the people who just graduated from the art school. Okay. And we have I see. Okay, we join some kind of independent network to help the democratic movement. That's now we have a lot of political movement event that people can have high bar in the public. Yeah, everyone can be with microphone. You can discuss chung and high bar to the people. Yeah, talk about what kind of happened and what the problem is and what can do next in many ways. With the critical, there's getting a strong people more there to talk about the real structure of problem, a monarchy, how bad the military, how bad the government for our country. So the artists and the students and the local activists, we work together to make kind of political event that make people can join with like a more artistic way. We invite the people to eat the fish,
fried fish.
Yeah, like a fish barbecue together. But this kind of fish is from the royal given propaganda fish something. Yeah, it's called panin. Yeah, we eat this kind of fish together. And analogy to like our life is like like a fish, but already there. But we now going back to a life again, and and what's your choice? And we go out together. And there's a lot of event in that the Tapagate. Tapagate is like a symbolic landmark of Chiang Mai, kind of like a public space that people can join. And there's a lot of art performance, the musician, and the NGO alliance to open the table to make their own campaign. And okay, sorry. Okay, for my okay, I'm kind of like a confused. I just come back from Bangkok. Okay, now in Thailand it's like a very like crazy things that happen. So maybe the Thai artist kind of like uncertain consciousness now. But sorry for that. But if you have like some kind of question, or we can discussion later. Second, now we're gonna forward to the another Thai guy, the Mr. Kanye Thiravat Munvilai.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, did you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you well. Sounds good.
Okay. Sorry, I'm fucked up with my computer. I think they need to go to hospital someday. It's like they make. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm gonna share the screen. Beginning, I would like to introduce myself. Actually, I'm a theater director from the B Floor Theater. Now we are introduced to the free art as well. Free art is a movement group gathering the artists from mostly in Bangkok, because we try to connect artists who are pro democracy and try to talking about freedom of expression in Thailand. So this is a starting point. Normally we are the artists who also join the protest from the early, like we join as just a participant, just an audience from the last year to the beginning of this year. They're gonna be they have a lot of protests from the student in the university. A lot of artists also join as a participant, as I told you. But the time after COVID, coronavirus is came, and then after they open up, so the movement of protest is coming back again, and make the more and more people gathering and joy. But one question is about when we go there at the protest place. So a lot of like a speaker come to talk. Many, of course, they have many content and topic to say, but we feel as an artist, there are needs activities. They need something like more than music and play just music and singing, something like that. Then we gathering the artists who are different. They have some noise from where? A bit haunting. Okay. By the way, they are gathering together and then make a group ensemble called Free Art. So which means we would like to let the art is act and speak out about what going on in our society. Before that, I think many artists is very oppression with the political situation in Thailand. Back to the 10 years before, they have a conflict between red and yellow shirt. The yellow shirt is like some urban from the provinces come to Bangkok. So the Bangkok people is mostly yellow shirts who are support the government and of course support monarchy. So they are looked down for the red shirt, and also they have some kind of big masquerade in middle of the Bangkok in 10 years ago. Almost 10 people died. And at that time, artists who also would like to express to sympathy of the red shirt, also they also have problem. There was ban, there was a censor, because I mean, rich people and business class in Bangkok almost yellow shirts. So this kind of like oppress is happened to the artists. But then the movement of the student is coming back and talking even more further than economic or corruption, and they go very, very far. But inside us, we are agree, but we cannot speak in the public. Yeah, many gossip about the monarchy and king, but now it's everything is show up in the public. So that's why this time is like a hidden topic or of the oppression that like an explode. I can say it's an explode like a volcano. So I will show you. So that's why. How can I show you? Share the screen. I'm very bad on that.
Okay, I can see your screen now. That's an island. I can see your desktop.
Okay. So so the very beginning in my before performance, so we try to use mask as a hidden identity, because the beginning that we would like to join as a movement. I would like to make a performance, and then we announce participant from outside, not only in the before member, because we would like to let the people sharing this emotion, but they are not like a professional actor. They just ordinary people. So we would like to encourage everybody to like join in the movement. Before that, many people can express to the online only, like in Facebook, in something like that. But then we know we have to do something on ground, because the movement is already start. But to show up, to reveal yourself, that is very important. We need like a strong point that you show up on ground. So and then, as you know, we have also the artist also was banned or was arrested because they go to show their opinion and speak something in the public. So many artists since the coup 5 years ago, not only the singer and many painter, also they are have a military go in the gallery, and then they just take it down the piece, and some is cancel. And also my company itself, before one of the performance is talking about Article 112, which means we're talking about least majestic law. But before the show is start, the military come and then try to stop us and would ask for the script, and then we show them that we are nothing. We declare ourselves that we are not like a talk bad about that, but we just talking about the law, and then they allow us to perform. And then every night the police, the military sends one or two people come to record by the video every night. Yeah, so that is already 5 years ago. But this day we are showing everywhere. I don't know, they write in Thai in the back like this. They're talking about to changing the constitution by new writing, not changing. So that's we also go to perform in this place. And another thing, we also create the event. We call the first event that gathering a lot of artists who are musicians, poetry, the many visual artists, video photographer, and theater, puppet theater, and to make a big event in front of the Bangkok Art and Cultural Center in Bangkok in the 12th of last month, August. Yes. So many artists come to invite many people to writing, to drawing, and to share their opinion about the social, what they're going on, what they think. So not only we also gathering many different group of the people. For example, this picture is the action of the LGBT movement in Thailand. Yeah. They're also talking about their right. They would like to accept to make equality. Yeah. And also the artists come to make a workshop and printing, the screening for free. The people just bring the shirt or paper, whatever they want, and then they just make by themselves. Yeah. And one of the artists, actually he singer. he also one of the artists who arrested. He called Bottom Blue. He once he throw this color, I mean the blue color, to the police. That is a very big scandal happened. So now he continue to make his work to throw the water, splashing the water to the politician. And in this time we go to the Sanam Luang. It's a big field in the middle of Bangkok, and actually we cannot enter, but then the people riot, and then they break down the fence, and then they can occupy the loyal field, which is very meaningful for us, because this place is belong to the people for a very long time. They come to take a rest, they come to do activities, relax. It's like middle of the city, but now became a loyal place, so you cannot enter this space anymore. But we just occupy just one day. Now it's became the same, so just one day occupy. And also we have many activity going backward. So we join. This is at the BACC. We also have a speech like a standing point or statement of the artist. Especially we talking about the freedom of expression in art. Maybe we should do. This is Ajahn Thanom, a big teacher of the art. This is me. So this is one of the event that is a starting point. In my company also joy as we did a big puppet and also wearing a mask. This one we talking about the king with new costume. As you know, this story is like a naked king, right? So at that time we take this puppet walk in the field. That is so fun, and the people join us as a parade. That is fun. And when we also do something about the gimmick for the art, we try to play because we I believe many people believe in mantra, right? Especially in Thai, they believe in the fortune teller. They believe in something like the dark power, something like to make it good. And we also try to make like we can say อะไรวะล้อเลียนเหรอเขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะครับyeah to because this kind of power is like oppress us, so that's why we use this form of the power to express ourselves. And also we have a product, many product in our art event. One show that I did
ครับหมดเวลา
ครับผมหมดเวลาเลยใช่ไหมโอเคโอเค thank you so much sorry
Okay. Yes. Sorry that I apparently we have a lot of technical errors. Are we echo? พี่ส้มช่วยปิดเสียงนั่นก่อนครับเราหมายถึงปิดเสียงตัวครับ we have a lot of technical errors, so I give more time to every participant, but I want to let the last participant to share her practice to us too. Lin Xin Yi, yeah, please.
係咪再剪啊？等我一陣，係咪要剪啊？我剪定先穩定，好似冇又好似有。
Which one?ยังไงตอนนี้เรา
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Wait, sorry.
Thank you.
So, okay, I hope you can hear me well, and I'm really sorry I'm late, so I'm a bit confused in between. I'm Xin Ling. I'm a theater practitioner and director, producer in Taiwan. I'm gonna go through this really quick because I'm late, but at the same time, I really want to get to know the other participant more. So I think probably I will just do a very brief introduction of myself, and then I would like to maybe talk to you more because I have missed a lot. So I work as a theater director, a playwright, and producer myself. And I know that today I've been invited to this meeting was because one of the projects I did with a theater company in Taiwan last year. And the project was called Clear White Song. And it's a music theater project that we deal with the White Terror period
in Taiwan. We talk about the history, and we want to draw the memory back to Taiwan, because as Taiwan was under martial law for a very long time, almost 38 years. So that's a really long time and changed many people's life in Taiwan, because in many families, no matter their own political stance, because of the martial law, and many families, they stop to discuss about history or what happened, the small events or history in their own family. And of course, many people talk about what happened in Taiwan, the past Taiwan, and I'm not sure if you are aware of the history in Taiwan, but part of the narratives was about when the civil war happens in China after World War II, and the KMT government came to Taiwan and began a new region, and the government took over Taiwan, and so on and so on. But one of the major narratives was about the part of the Minnan people in Taiwan was being suppressed by this KMT government. But that time, when the White Terror in Taiwan happened, it was during a time under the Cold War situation. So there is a free world and the communist war. So in this project, we want to take people back to the time in the 50s and to let all these stories back to a more human way to talk about history. And also because now we're experiencing, many of the participants today, I think we're all aware that we're experiencing the new Cold War that's coming into a hot war again. So that's one of the major thinking that when we want to do the show last year. And actually one of the interesting thing was that project was commissioned by the Transitional Justice Commission in Taiwan. And that is an independent agency in Taiwan, but also it's, although it's independent agency, but it's part of it's under the government. So it's like being an artist. You're going to create a project about the history under the commission of the government. So last year when we took on the challenge, for us, it's also to challenge the limits of the government, like what kind of narratives the government can accept for us to express one way of looking back into the history. So I'm not going to tell all the details, but it was quite tough. But in the end, we convinced them to let us tell the story in our own way. When I mean convinced, I think that's through the artistic expression. Because I don't know, I'm using my phone now. I'm a bit confused about the system, but I'm just gonna record the computer screen of my computer to show you a bit of some part of the clips of the show to get you some ideas. How am I going to switch? Okay. So can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see your laptop.
Yeah, thank you.
Chapter 7, it says.
Yeah, it's very low tech, and I hope it works.
The last will that cannot be delivered, it said.
Right. So So this is the last part of the show. Is that because of me? Right. So in this part, I'm gonna just start and okay, I'm gonna shut up and let you see for a while.
就是性质吧。
为何没有来要求寄爱吃的东西？我会工作、裁缝、赚钱。
请你不要粗心好吗？我没主动要的物品，绝不可再寄。
你的衬衣，我每一晚都抱着睡，脏了也舍不得洗，就因为有你的味道。等不到你回来，绝不洗涤。
接吻在你颊上的泪滴，以安慰你。
你的全身都是我的重要之物。
高湾都看天都不明，在震动，下江风飘飘，物品被没收也无妨，我的冤罪已会着迷。缝纫机被没收之前，很想穿着你亲身缝制的衣物，在田地，在山中，我的魂魄随时随地。
So in this last part of the show, the actors they are reading out loud the last letters of all these victims in this period of time. And because when I'm showing you this this part of the show is because many of the victims during that period, although they have wrote the letters to their family, but after they were being executed, these letters didn't really send out to their families, and they were being kept as a government archive. So in 2011, there were some families, they found out the data, and they started a movement to get these letters back from the government. And it's almost like we have here all these messages from like 60 years ago, and they were being kept in a drawer for a long time. And so in this show, we really want to use a way of the music theater to bring these memories and to bring this this important message back to life. And as you can see in this performance, we only have 4 performers. So we have 2 musicians and we have 2 actors. But 4 of them, they perform as performer and narrator, and also they play instruments. So we're now wait. Okay, I'm gonna get this back. So in a way, we're experimenting a way of how sounds can become a new narratives in theater, if not only the history and written word that we can be put into life. So and we choose the project in seven different towns and cities in Taiwan, and we hope also to bring the show to more places in Taiwan for I'm not sure, but I think that's quite the same when major events or history happens in many countries. We often kept the major events or memory in the big cities. But like for I said previously, we were under martial law for almost 40 years. But when we talk about the history, we hear about the case mostly like in Tainan, in Kaohsiung, or in Taipei, because they're all big cities. But actually there are many small townships. They actually happen quite brutal cleansing, that kind of things. But because maybe for a very short of time, maybe like 3 years or 5 years, they were under this political cleansing. So after that period of time, there were less protest or less voice being heard. So for many people, when we tour the show to these places, we have the feedback that they have never heard of the story happen in their own hometown. They thought that their story happened elsewhere. So we took this performance as of course it's a well-produced production, but also we hope to take it as an act when we bring the show to different places. This attempt of bringing the show touring is a way to connect with people, and hopefully that we can make the dialogue. We can continue the dialogue with people in Taiwan and with different generations. So we talk about the stories from 50 years ago, from 60 years ago, and now we're facing the audience maybe in their 20s or in their 30s time. So they reflect the memory, or maybe what happened to their father, to their grandfather, grandmother when they're in their 20s, in the time that their life should be the most vibrant. And I think that's it's a very special project, and it's ongoing now. And today I'm late also because for now we're bringing this project to some of the high school teachers, because we hope that we can discuss a new way with the high school teachers, like how they can put this kind of human rights education back to the school. It's all ongoing, so I think I'm just gonna stop now, because I think maybe you are quite confused about what I shared. So if you have any questions, and I can explain a bit more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lee. Okay, actually we out of time already. but each of us, I think we do anyone has any question to others? Because actually for Kacie and for your they both can finish their presentation.
Actually, I have a question for the Thai artist. I want to know in Thailand, amongst the artists and the intellectual people, is there a division regarding pro-democracy movements? Like the political polarization, of course, torn families and friends apart. But in terms of the intellectuals crowd of Thailand, meaning the artistic people, for example, are they in one union, or are they also torn in between the pro-monarch versus the pro-democracy? Can you share with us? Thank you.
Yes, we have. we kind of very clearly divides from the political view and ideology of but yes, of course, especially I don't know outside Bangkok, because actually I'm from Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. I know that part is quite pro-democracy mostly. But now I living in Bangkok for around 20 years. I can see is not. I mean, it's not so much pro-democracy in my sense and my point of view. And especially for when you're talking about the theater people, actually I expect, or the artist people, I expect, because everybody learn what you saw realistic, what is absurd, what is expression as a style. At least we should know what is realistic. I mean, the realistic for me is about to preserve the what is the real problem, what is structure problem, what is like something hidden. As an artist, we know, because when we make art or piece, we make a many layer, right? And to show beauty or to show intellectual through the artwork. But then when we're talking about the political issue, it's become black and white. Become just easy like that. Okay, I want just do like this, but I don't touch anything about politics issue. But that is I don't know, from the school or from whatever come from. Like they say the art should not involve about the political. That is why this come from, where this come from. So this is also very hard for the theater side as well. We have maybe 30% of the theater artists who pro democracy. I can say that. Yeah.
Thank you.
We part want to add something from after Kanye.
Okay. Actually, okay, everyone, hear me. Not just only the artists. Okay, we like in Thailand the artists we have like a proper union like that. So we have not like we got our own island, and some kind of like another individual artist know these people, and connection is kind of like semi official connection something. So it's people help each other with in some time. But I want to share that I agree with the Mr. Kanye, P. Kanye. We already like a device long time ago. Not just only artists, is as the other job, other professional also. So now the political issue for this situation is not only torn apart the relationship of people, but it's like bring the real problem at like we bring how the real relationship with like with as more some critical political issue come back to our talk. Now we got like a big issue because in our movement now we have like a lot of major of our people is high school kid, or like not just university student, but we got the high school or even the junior high school already joined our protest and movement. And of course their own parents, most of them have like a big problem because they're like a baby boomer family or like the right wing or like a traditional people. They're like they kind of like a shock that and really strongly disagree that allow that kid to join the protest. So now we have the big problem with like family issue for the high school kid or really young kid because they not have the proper job yet, but they have to still have to live with their own family. But for like our young after graduate people or even the university, but it seems like a little bit more situation to go out to make a protest. But yeah, everyone have like a problem, but now it's like the geopolitical issue is torn up apart and bring the real how like a dictatorship in our family that active to bring like a link to the big picture or like a national problem. Yeah. It is like relate together. Yeah.
And also I heard that the student from the high school who joined the นักเรียนเลว is a bad student group and movement. Actually, I heard from a month ago that family to stop to give them money or supporting them, or even like let them go, outside. Don't come back home or something like that. So now in the internet they try to like support them by to collect the money as supporting if those students have a problem. Yeah, that's going on now.
Yeah, I'm asking this because when I saw the movement in Thailand right now, it brings me tears. And it's just like bad flashback for us in the 2014 umbrella movement. Unfortunately, we have gone through a similar situation, destruction of friendships and also family members. Like for example, me and my mom. In front of her, I tried to. I'm 50 years old, okay, but in front of my mom, I still I shut the hell up and try not to talk anything about politics. And sometimes you will, because you watch public television, and I will not comment. I used to be stupid and comment and then make matter worse. So the smart thing is because she's 80 somewhat years old, and the revolution will be led by young people, right? I'm already old, and she's like extra old. So I just play my role as a good son in front of her, because in order to understand what's going on, you need a lot of readings and a lot of studying and a lot of understanding of politics, right? And of course, artists and designers, they only read a certain books. So I think we must study much more in order to expand our knowledge, and then use our role. And everybody have a role. Everybody are useful. Like back in Umbrella Movement, we were in a big argument saying, "Oh, this is useless. This is useful. You are doing theater. You are useless. You should be fighting the police at the front." But at the end, now with 2019, we understand that valor and also the peaceful can be united as one. We don't have to be divided. So I think for the Thais, I think, don't repeat the mistake that we have made. And unfortunately, we have made a lot. So we must prepare for the immediate political shitstorm that's going to hit us in the future. Hong Kong right now is a police state. For example, October 1st, I was searched and have my ID card copied 5 times in one day. I was dressing all black with my BMX, challenging the system, testing, and also recording them at the same time. One day we will bring them to the court in The Hague for anti-humanitarian violations, this must be done. And I'm afraid, I think as artists, we should prepare on both sides, right? One side, of course, maybe the monarch will back down and there will be political reformations, or the military government will back down. That's, of course, it always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela reminded us. At the same time, Malcolm X reminded us that no one going to give you freedom and no one going to give you equality or anything like that. If you are a man, you take it, but there's consequences, meaning, the relationships go bad, or government would defame you. They would say, the students got paid, they took money and they go to the street to protest. They will write all kind of things like that because, they don't want things to change. So I think do not focus on immediate victory. Do not focus on a victory. That is not, that will not a sustainable goal. I think for me, the more sustainable goal is really think about, the water. You are bringing important nutrients to all life down the valley. And for that is freedom and democracy. It might not be achievable in your lifetime, but are you going to still do it? It's not going to be done next month or next week. Are you going to still do it? So that is more a realizable goal that's going to sustain you. Like, for example, the Taiwanese director, we are talking about retributions for the crime that is 60 years ago. Okay, so it's going to take a long time. I think for us artists, we have a role, and because we have these secret weapons like humor or dance or poetry or song that touches people's heart within 5 seconds. You have probably heard of the Glory to Hong Kong song from Hong Kong, and it touches many people. And I think we can contribute in that way, encouraging people to come, to protect them, and of course to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I think that's very important. Sorry for speaking too long. Thank you.
There will be.
Some question in the YouTube that we also broadcasting to.
There is some questions to Kacie.
Yes.
To Kacie Wong.
KY Wong, yes.
Okay. How do you fit the art in the packed city space in Hong Kong? That's the questions. And then the questions for Halfway Cafe. How does your currency work? If it's one shares and give back to the space one, then one acquire your currency. I'm not sure for the questions, but yeah.
Okay, KY, maybe you can talk a little bit about how our political movement have go into the community, the 18th district of community. Like, yeah, please.
Oh yes, because we have a district council election during the middle of our democratic movement last year, and it is I think it's a two-sided sword, because half of those civilian think that we won the election by getting most of our district councillor winning in a democratic side. It's marked the victory of the movement, but while the teenagers do not trust the system at all, they don't want to be involved in any voting, because they think that this is going into the system and it's not gonna change any situation, but just follow the rules. But now, after winning the district council election in Hong Kong, many of our artists see the opportunity to utilize our resources that can gain from a district council by organizing activities directly benefit to the neighborhood, that people can join, not getting money from big patrons, powerful people, those collectors, developer, government, but instead we get money from the district council and to do something more liberal and more directly engaged to the society and the community to respond to the district, each district in this 18 districts. This is one of the examples of how we continue our movement, even though there are no more street protests now because of the national security law and because of the virus. But still, we are going into the society by immersing into the neighborhood to serve the people around us, to serve the place that we're living in, and to hold on the beliefs and the value that we built up throughout all last years, not only during protests and not only by violent means, which this does not imply that I don't agree with violence means, but not everyone can afford the risk of going onto the street. But for community art project that initiated by the district council with the liberal and democratic district councillor, we can actually explore many possibilities that has not been done in Hong Kong before, because the district council was taken by those pro-government council, district councillor in the past many years, and now we won back our right to use the money righteously, not by they just left hand it into right hand, or are pro-government people that can take those money and not giving back to the community. This is one of the way. And by seeing, if I do not mistaken, Som's question about many arts, protest art appears during last year on street randomly, like in every kind of public space. For example, bridges, parking lot, on the roadside, bus stop, everywhere. Not only graffiti, but people do poster art. They distribute scene. They distribute a leaflet, every form of free arts, every form of art expressing freedom. And now currently we have an exhibition now in Shamshoibo, one of the most vibrant district in Hong Kong, I would say. It's a self-run art space that is back at last year, he was still a student, but now he graduated and dedicated to be an artist. And this artist called Giraffe, and then he used those very shocking color masking tape to frame those traces of removing protest art on street, to make them like in a proper art, and then gave them captions randomly on street. You can search and Google online to see how these young artists interpreting the trace of government trying to cover up those protest art into a real form of art, to get people attention, of reminding them beneath those traces of new painted on mall or on a bus stop or everywhere on those public area, there was used to be protest art, posters, slogans, graffiti of the movement last year. So these traces, it's also a kind of continuous form of how we remind ourselves to use practical ways to carry out our beliefs of the movement every day in our daily life. I think this is two very concrete example of how we try to transform arts into like real tactics and real practical practices that we can execute every day, and to remind ourselves of what we believe and what we fight for. Thank you.
I think one of the effective example would be the Lantern Wall. You probably know there's a Lantern Wall in Hong Kong. Originally, there's one spot in the government house, but last year, 2019, we have turned it into a community establishment. There are 18 districts in Hong Kong. So try to maybe think about how to go into the community and have the maybe a local land war in different districts of Thailand, but at the same time supported by Telegram, for example. So you have technology as well as a physical means, because not everybody can access those high-tech Telegram thing. For them, it's high-tech. For us, it's just normal. But it's important to have a platform that seems safe and easy to contribute. The safest place is on your bed, in your bedroom, with your laptop or your cell phone. Even an elementary school student can participate by drawing a little diagram, a little poster, a little logo, and just submit it. And with that, you can print it out and paste it on the physical wall. So it forms into like a snowball effect in terms of having both platforms that is not erasable. This is very important for the movement to sustain. And of course, like personally, I have two friends who are artists originally, but they decided to run for district council and they won. Okay. So nothing is, it always seems impossible until it's done. So now they're politicians, but they're educated in fine arts, and the policy they're running in the local district full of humanity and love and advancement of society. So this is very important. So start planning for the next move, meaning the massive public protest ended. Where should we go? That's very important to be sustainable. Thank you. And Taiwan? Halfway Cafe?
In fact, we being a coffee shop, and all the benefits is not really benefit because we don't earn a lot of money. We only earn money to support our staff, but our staff is also the activities, many means activities, not only like a social movement, also the artists, also and museum. I don't actually know, but just activities. And this way is kind of like Hong Kong right now. You also saying about yellow shop like this, but
yellow economy.
Yeah. But in the other hand, our benefits also support our space. This space can support also another activities, not only work here, also they maybe just come here and have some events, or even they just go on the street, do some protest, or they do some activities or some art. I'm not sure. Yeah. So and also that benefits can support our halfway money. This money is for the community. It's the community's 共有.
It's like communal positions, like everybody's share stuff.
Yeah. So for us, this space we think is another social movement here. Here is another center of the social movement, I think. Yes, because we think not what is social movement. This I think maybe to definition again, because right now just like we beginning say, right now Taiwan's situation is very different from Thailand or Hong Kong. Our government just think like support social movement, but not really. Just like 2 days ago or 3 days ago, also 那个南铁的拆迁的案件。
There's an issue in Tainan. They want to build a new highway, train way in Tainan. So they
tear down a lot of houses and send a lot of people try to force them away from their home.
So Taiwan people maybe think, or both in social movement, maybe we think if we change the government, if we be more democracy's government, we can more happiness
or we can gain bigger social progress. But in the end, we found out actually a lot of things are still the same, or a lot of things still need to be changed. So
yeah. So one is what is the social movement, another is what is the truly democracy. This is we are still talking about and discussing this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you do that. Okay. There is also an audience from Philippines. I copy the questions to you all. That they also want to push that concept of the multi-alliance to bond with our country like Thailand, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. But for them, it's not very easy to pushing this movement to the big crowd and for a long term. So the questions is how they can ensure that the art form can impact the life of the people. So especially that the current fight of the neighboring country like Thailand, Hong Kong, Indonesia. So it means that they would like to also have the similar impact as these three countries, and maybe some of us would like to suggest that they can encourage the crowd or the public in Philippines to join the movement.
Well, I think it always should be starting locally. I mean, the multi-alliance, of course, right now is just a meme, but of course, the multi in the three places tastes very good. But I think when you're talking about the ultimate long shot to improve is for us, Hong Kong is through foreign policy, because Hong Kong is a little dot on the map. And every countries have their own problem, and their problem are unique. We should not generalize. Like for example, Taiwan and Hong Kong, have these big brothers watching, right? This problem is very different than in Thailand, which is 100 years old monarch, and it's very different. It's not the same. So I don't, but like so in a way, we should not copy. If we just copy directly without critical thinking, then we may make a mistake, because it's not a tailor-made strategy and tactics. I think all tactics should be somehow tailor-made, and it gotta be site-specific and within the time slot. The tactics that was used in sunflower movement or umbrella movement cannot be applied in 2019. And even the situation in 2019, the tactics and strategies that was working, like Be Water and all these uncivil disobedience tactics, cannot be done now, because Hong Kong already become a police state. I'm talking about every street corner have policemen there searching and arresting, even for wearing the wrong shirt. So an emergent situation in Xinjiang or in China, okay, we're talking about concentration camps. So I think we gotta be super clever as well as tactical, to use proper tactics. For example, in Thailand, if you speak against the king, they might put you in jail for 10 years. This is like the national security law in Hong Kong, which is a rape on the existing law. So this is called unjust law, just like what happened in Taiwan back when the Kuomintang came to Taiwan and start killing people there. So I think for Philippines, I think in order to get a momentum, one must start with the right person. You know, form your own groups. Don't think too big. Don't think like multi-alliance. Multi-alliance is an accident in a way. Start with an issue that you care about, and it's gonna be a lonely journey. Let me warn you, it always will be a lonely journey. That you'll be misunderstood even by your own people from the art scenes, and that hurt the most. So but you must fight against this loneliness to reach out and get the right-minded people together. And slowly you build your secret organization with no names and no face. That's the best way. That is the only way. So the artist with no face and no names. If you're dare to walk this way, then it'll be a happy journey that will last a lifetime. That's what I think. That's what I'm doing. That's why I call my art covert art. But of course, I mean, that's a price to pay. And you know, you might get hurt, they might arrest you, they might harass you, and you must prepare for that. And you should not be naive and think, oh, you know, just art and everybody appreciate. No, they're going to throw rocks at you. And you must be ready to defend yourself. Yeah. So wear body armor. That help. I did. When I was dressing up Moses, I was holding the 5 commandments. In Thailand, it should be 3 commandments, right? And then my sleeve is coming down and reveal my motorcycle under armor. And the protester pointing at Moses like, look, even Moses is armed up. Yep, that's the way to go. Protect yourself so you can last for a long time. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Philippines.
I want to add something to yours.
Same question from
yes.
Philippines. I want to add more idea about the. I want to bring back the house the multi-alliance happened. For Philippine friends, don't worry that you can join to the multi-alliance or not. It just I think that to bring back the origin of the multi-alliance is just like a really coincidence. It's just like a meme war between the Chinese people attack the Thai the drama star, and like have the Thai fan and the Chinese have the issue related to the why you recognize the Hong Kong as the country, but Thai and it's like and also relate to the Taiwan issue also, because they have like an attacking to the Thai pop star, drama actors girlfriend also. It's a lot of like a crazy and unpredictable thing that make the multi-alliance that happen. As we know, that every country they have like a conflict or their own unique problem. But this kind of coincidence is happened because it's just like the temple that the mass of people like and emotion and like that we have like agreement or have like something in common. I think for artists or like for art people, I think first thing we have to stop to think that necessarily to be like a spearhead that we go forward and the audience and the mass people will follow us. Actually, for political movement as art, we always follow people. We have to read what things happen and what people think and what the really people really need it, and we just support or just help them. Yeah, we're not like a spearhead at all. We just like have to read the tempo and understand the atmosphere that people fight each other, and we just use that as or like bring or borrow that as our material to do something that support our with our own practice and bring back to the public war or something. So everything will be spin, and the multi-alliance is not origin from art at all. It's just like the skill of people that make meme and understand how to adopt and replace the meaning, flip things, and use the image and words and understand the context of the internet life and our contemporary life, and use like a unique form things that Chinese people cannot never feel and never have before. So the Thai people, they have skill. So this kind of alliance is formed, and we like have the joy together. And your question is, I saw the question on the screen that you asked, that how we know that the art form that work for political project. I think you don't worry about that, how to measure that art help or not. I think the tangible or the concrete point that we know that the movement is forward or not is I think it's clearly we have to understand what the clearly political purpose from your movement. It's just not like we unhappy with our identity. It's just so cultural things. You cannot catch things. The people, I mean like not scholar people, I mean the real normal people. But you have to make your clear proposal to give to the politician, to give to the public, to clear your problem, not I mean the real problem that political already start and movement, and you have to clear what your finish point, or just not finish point, but your proposal to at least to make the government or the boss can negotiate with you. I think cultural war is seem like a important thing, but we cannot fancy with that. We have to bring back to the government or like a parliament policy game also. We have to fight belong each other. So we have to use art as the teamwork to the mainstream political movement also. We have to read that and use in the right tempo, right time, I think. And sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's just like a coincidence, but just keep going. And help each other and go forward, I think.
That's an interesting question. What do you see the role of art in social movement to all artists? Let me start first. For me, art is not about solving problem, but art is really about bringing forward the problem. A lot of artists might not understand this. It's like the ghost. Nobody sees it, but it's there. So what the artists do, the artists let you see the ghost. So, or gravity, like Newton's gravity. Gravity was always around. Nobody saw it. The artists come in, let you see the apple. So the apple is the artwork. The apple allows you to understand gravity and its existence, just like the evil in our society. But eating the apple will not solve the problem. So it just so that's the kind of role. So a government often misunderstand that, and they think arts can solve social problem, but the social problem is already bleeding like hell. You cannot cure a social problem using a Band-Aid with Hello Kitty photo image on it. So this is my understanding. And also there's a question about censorship in Hong Kong. As you know, Hong Kong have passed this law recently called the National Security Law. It's a very horrible law. It can take you back to China and take away your lawyers and take away all your money and put you in jail. And so how do you operate in such circumstances? I think all artists who are interested in participating in whatever resistance that you are participating should have the mindset of working behind enemy line. This is very important, like unconventional warfare, meaning if you have some kind of artwork, get it out of your place ASAP. That means like put on social media, put in New York, put in Basel, put in Europe. That's important because your front will collapse one day, and the next one will go up to replace you. So it's important to keep doing those kind of work, and have a backup. Have a backup that is not in your place and time, so that the struggle can be continued to be discovered, like the Taiwanese director discovered those very nice letters that wrote to relatives 60 years later. If they have not kept it, there will be no show. So this is important. So censorship is ongoing, and it will be, as the Thai artist described, how the military, this is not the political bureau, right? Military people, they kills with guns and murder to come to see your show. This is horrible. This is scary. Who else, what they're doing, who knows what else they're doing behind the scene. So this is important to get it out of on the internet, as well as in the physical space. So the current prediction for Hong Kong art will be like this, because of the censorship and suppression is higher and higher, and eventually Hong Kong will collapse to be just like China. That means they have political bureau inside every government arts platform. That means every government's art platform cannot be trusted. I know I have a government-run curator telling me to take a piece of work away because they're afraid they will displease their boss. So they like their job. They don't want to lose their job. And you are the troublemaker. So this is how they try to change society. So in a way, you need to change your work to be more sophisticated. So that means for Hong Kong, the traditional kind of in-your-face style, like the emperor's new clothes kind of theater work can no longer be played in Hong Kong. But right now, Thailand is still kind of okay, I guess. But Hong Kong, probably not, right? So how do you do it then? The way is to be abstract. Just go back to the contemporary art language, which is always abstract to begin with. Abstract and multiple interpretational. So you can't just go and do the kind of simple in-your-face style saying, I don't like you, you go down. You can't do that anymore. You have to be like really artistic and make people scratch their head and indirect. So that is still available. And of course in China, don't think the artists in mainland China are not resisting. They are resisting still, but they are using coded messages. art already is coded, so we are like triple coded, the code of a code of a code. And people understand it because they all grew up in the same pressure cooker. So they understand the secret language of a secret language of a secret language. But for the outsider, of course, it's like scratching their head. What's the meaning of this? Or what's the meaning of the fish? Royal fish? Never heard of it. So still it's still available. So don't give up too soon. Make your enemy difficult. And don't surrender before they challenge you, try to make their life miserable. That's what I'll do. Thank you. To maybe other artists can answer.
Okay, thank you very much. And we are running out of time, but we still have the last question from our audience on Zoom. I want to let our participant to answer this question. Start from Lin. What do you see? How do you see the role of art in social movement? Lin, are you still there? Yes.
Please.
Lin, turn on your mic.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Right. I just want to say thank you, Kacie, for what you just said, and I think that's also relative to discussion, because I want to share some experience as an artist. I actually been confused by this question for a long time. Like, am I being useful, or am I doing enough in the social movement? And because you feel like you're not being productive, because you're just writing stories and you have to work a long time in the rehearsal room. And so, should I do street play, or should I just go on the street and do whatever I can? But then after many years, and then I realized that you have to stick to your own practice, and that means you have to live well and eat well, sleep well, because then you can help to sustain your life and also your mentality. We have to have strong mind to continue the struggle. So then I feel that I don't regard my art I don't link that to the social movement. If I join a social movement, I will join the social movement as an individual. And as an individual, I will do whatever I can and to go for the stand. But then as an artist, I have to focus on the important things that I think I can create, or I have to develop. Because even though you have an idea, if you don't have enough time, you don't have enough patience to make it happen, then you only have the idea. So you have all this desire or the anxious that I have to do something, but because many times we're caught in between, like whether I should stay at home or whether I should go on to the streets. So I don't think that so to reverse the question, to think of the artist's role in the social movement, I would suggest not to think of the role of artists in the social movement, but still to think of your role as an artist and what I can do to change or to challenge the society or the situation that I can really put my power in and make a change. And I want to add things that differ from discussion, because I think this will be my last time to talk in this meeting. Actually, this year as a producer, one of the theater company I work with invited the Thai theater company called Anatta. I hope I'm saying it right. It was ANATTA theater.
Anatta, I know.
Another theater, yeah. And they were bringing a show called A Nowhere Place, which talk about the event in Taiwan in 1976. And at that time, we're having a huge, we discuss a lot as a producer and the my team that want help to promote the show, like how can we tell the people in Taipei, in Taiwan, about what happened in Bangkok in 1976 and what happened in that university. But then it was supposed to happen in March, but then because of the virus and the whole situation, so the show didn't come. And then what happened now, it's the ongoing situation. And no one would have thought of this, at least people in Taiwan. But then it gave me a new idea, like, so you always have need a chance, like a chance, a key to open up to a situation that you have never knew before. So for now, I'm really interested, and also I care about what happened in Thailand at the moment. And because the project with another, we hope that we can bring the show to Taiwan next year. And I think it's not only about that show, because the young people in Taiwan and older people in Taiwan we will have a deeper understanding of what's happening in Thailand. Yeah, thank you.
For me, it's about the role, the art in social movement. I feel like as a theater practitioner, I pretty much did a lot of abstract, but of course is because I did a physical theater, not so much like talking. So that's why I have to bring the subject to become something concrete on the stage, which is dealing with imaginary, and people have to guess. And actually, it's not so difficult, I think, my work, but also talk a lot of social structure and a lot of political issue inside. But in terms of when you cannot talk to something because of the sensitive, so I did physical stuff to presentation. That is the way that I did in the theater. But then they have a social movement. No, I mean the protest movement happened. I also question myself. Of course, my work is very political, at very artistic way, something like that, what I did with my audience. And then why don't you try another way to be on the street and to join them? And as an artist, what you can do? And then we listen for what they need in the protest request, or what they want to say. So I have to digest what they want to say in the public to become performance. And also the performance have to be in short, because of the time in the space is different, because of the concentration and lack of facility that will drive the performance like normal in the theater. So this is like you have to change yourself in different way. And I talk to myself, right? and it, of course, is more risky because you you show up yourself on the space and on your street. So this is how I change my role as a medium that I used to do. But of course, I have to thinking more after this. Not every time you go to the street, but what we can do other thing else. Maybe can do video art, or you can do campaign about art. So it doesn't mean you have to do theater only. So you can do, I can do music or some dance performance, but it's more like a performance film, something like that. So I have to see many medium to show. But still everything still delivery the same. I mean the social art, the art of the protest. I think I just changed the medium of to presentation, but I didn't change my thought or the way of thinking. And yeah, this especially nowadays, I think we need more people, we need more artists to gathering whatever they can do, whatever they have access in different platform. Online you have to go, on ground you also have to fight, both like a parallel together. But this day is a little bit confused because of the leader of the protest also, most of them is what arrested. So now it's become like a randomly people, and they just start by themselves as a movement. So the leader is the leader for me is mean like a speaker. Sometimes they have no speaker person to say something, but people just gathering together. And like for example, yesterday I just see a group of the people randomly in the big space, but there are many group. But some small group just shouting or say something. Everybody just follow. This group also, they do some other thing. So it's become like a like a sparking light as just general people. So that's why I feel like this kind of phenomena is a new chapter for the protest, for the style of the protest in Thailand. Yeah, normally they have just gathering in one point, and then everybody have to listen one people. But now it's just spread out many way. So not only the artists, but general people can do something. That is my impress. And also they have their own art. Everybody have their own art, whatever they want to do. That is very impressed me. And then I think this kind of movement will keep going, grow up. Yes.
Okay, who want to do next? Okay, I would like to invite Halfway Cafe. Come for the next opinion. Yes. How do you see the role of art?
We discussed a lot in this well. We have a different opinion.
Yeah, because since we have different roles in our cafe.
Yes. But in my opinion, I think actually in the big movement, people just join this situation, right? So everyone is feeling this. But many times I see many our work is just 反这个刚刚说那个镜子的那个反
reflection
just reflection. But for my opinion, I think art not need to, but I want they can 就是有一个比较尖锐的提问，或者
Art should as Zixuan think art should ask some question which is especially sharp, like and accurate.
但是我们还在持续讨论中，所以我觉得
Yeah, because we're in the process. Yeah,
discuss.
Yeah, because in our cafe we kind of have different role. So, for example, Posak, she's an artist. I mean, she make a documentary, and Zixuan is like she's the kind of like the organizer in this cafe. But also, it's like this cafe is her way to express. Also, for me, from my point of view, and I, as a translator, I also create words and sentences. But we kind of so in our discussion, we so I feel in so Zixuan, 你要不要讲你自己怎么觉得？ Because we kind of have a contradictory
这个问题一直在我们的咖啡店里面，一直是大家不断会在讨论一件事情。当然，我觉得可能没有结论，但是在这个里面，我觉得比较重要的事情是社会运动没有比较高，但是艺术也没有比较高。那如果我们在身为一个人的情况之下，应该要再更慎重在思考，我们到底感觉到了什么在这个时代里面。
So it's like this topic often discussed in our cafe, and we always wonder we also wonder what art should be like in like, for example, in social movement or in a general sense in this world, what's the role art should be, and for in social movement. So for example, we often talk about Posak often got asked, what's the public meaning in your artwork? But we want to ask why should our must have the meaning of for the public, or can it just be a very simple expression from the artist to because to the most extreme point, art is expression somehow.
有一个回应是，
我们刚才没有翻译完你讲的。
然后
我只想讲，
你用英文讲。
For me, in big social movement, that time I feel 有价值的 valuable things is very very different. People come here, come one space, and different people can talk one thing. This is most important thing. So for us, we create a space to continue this thing. This is the most important for us.
Yeah.
Actually, we still have 2 persons, but because we run out of time, so I have to put an end to our talk session. And thank you for everyone. Thank you for your time. It's very impressive. I learned a lot about how we feel together about how we can use art, and actually can be really expect for the result. How fast can it achieve the goal we need for everything we want for our society. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I could.
Thank you so much for your time to join this talk. And if there are any problem during the time that I organized this talk. Please forgive me, but I hope we can continue the discussion not only in this group but bigger, and we still support each other. So thank you so much for your time and your opinion.
Thank you.
ก็ต้องพี่ปิด
Bye. Keep in touch.
Bye.
โอเคปึ๊บ